Are GPs as persistent as they claim? Let's find out. What do we mean by persistence in private equity? This refers to the idea that a fund manager who's been successful in the past is more likely to be successful in the future. And translated in other words, it means that, let's say, a top quartile fund manager in the next fund that he raises is more likely to also be a top quartile fund manager in fund number 2, fund number 3, and fund number 4. In other words, if you're good, you continue being good. And the implication of that is you're not very good, you continue being not very good. Is that really true in private equity? A study by Cambridge Associates found that only 13.4% of all fund managers consistently manage to remain in the first quartile over 50% of the time, which seems to suggest that as time passes, top quartile fund managers may not necessarily replicate their past success. Indeed, a study was done by Cambridge Associates in even more detail, showing the different movement between first, second, and third and bottom quartile towards superior or inferior quartiles. And what this study shows is that quite a number of top quartile fund managers over time and over further funds will fall as low as the bottom quartile. And quite a number of lower quartile fund managers over time will move their way and work their way up to the top quartile. The concept of persistence is one that is quite important in private equity and is employed by GPs to argue that if they are in a higher quartile, they're more likely to remain there. However, studies show that that is not necessarily always the case. What can be some of the underlying reasons why there may be such a movement between quartiles? Well, one of the reasons could be that after an initial success, a GP will raise a larger and larger funds because the LPs will be happy with them and then gradually gravitate to doing different types of deals for which they are less qualified. Another potential reason is that there may be succession issues in the firm, that some members of the firm leave after a few years and go off and set up their own funds or exit the market, leaving a different type of management team a few years later less able to deliver the good results. One of the positive implications of these studies is that it gives a chance to first-time fund managers, because one of the studies does show that just because you're a first-time fund manager does not mean you're at a disadvantage if a fund manager who is a top quartile fund manager does run the risk of falling to the bottom quartile. In that case, there's no reason why LPs would not be willing to back a first-time team. So thanks Eric Johnson for the study on which I base this video. And for all you first-time fund managers, take heart from this study because this gives you an opportunity to move forwards.